are going to learn remaining part of our lesson. Lesson's name is There is a Girl by the Tracks, which is written by a well-known short story writer. Writer's name is Devan Kanal. He described about that the terrible accident, about that the one girl's name is Roma Talreja. Who was Roma Talreja? Already we have discussed in the last video. Now we are discuss about that the accident, and such the accident was happen on 10th December 2010 on Friday. On that the day, what happened? Roma was returning to home, her workplace, when Roma entered into that a train was full of people, crowd of people. There was no place for our Roma Talreja, but she adjusted herself and she entered into that the train. At that time, Roma was a jam between the two men, and what happened? When the train went ahead, Roma slipped from that the train, and she had fallen beside the tracks. And in opposite directions, one train was coming, and on that the train, who was there? That is the Baleshwar Mishra was there. When Baleshwar Mishra as well as other passengers saw such a horrible incident, one girl who was lying beside the track, such a the incident was very horrible. They saw, they means who here, the Baleshwar Mishra as well as other passengers in that the train, they saw such a horrible incident. What was the reply of the passengers? The reply of the passengers were, there is a girl by the tracks. It is our title. Our writer has given such a title of our lesson, there is a girl by the tracks. They cried loudly, or they screamed loudly, there is a girl by the tracks. And when they saw such a horrible situation, but except Baleshwar Mishra, nobody went there. Nobody went there and helped her. Only the Baleshwar Mishra came forward and he tried to help her. He said, Baleshwar Mishra said to the other passenger, let's go and help her. But nobody volunteered. Nobody went forward. Nobody went to help to that girl. Nobody. Why? Because of a technical problem. Because of a legal procedure. Other people were afraid of being involved in that the case. Police department came and they inquired. Everything, it is a technical problem. And due to this technical problem, nobody volunteered. Only one person, Baleshwar Mishra, came forward and he tried to help her life, that is save her life. It's very important. Both were unknown to each other. One unknown person helped to the other unknown person. It's very important. It is a part of humanity. It is a part of love. It is a part of compassion. It is a part of helping nature. Such other all qualities he had. He had such the information, and after that what happened? When he saw such a terrible incident, he jumped from the moving train. When he jumped from that moving train, there was a paining. There was a paining in his ankle. And after that, the tram is here, the train picked up and train disappeared. Whose train? Baleshwar Mishra's. Both figures were on the tracks. One figure is an unconscious and other is a conscious figure. Unconscious figure and the other is that is the unconscious figure. Who is the conscious? In a conscious state, that is our Baleshwar Mishra, and who was a unconscious state, that is our Roma Talreja. Both were unknown to each other. Both were unknown to each other on that is a track. And now here, now we are going to see the next paragraph, paragraph number 6. Paragraph number 6. Baleshwar was so far away from Roma, he couldn't see her. I hope I am not too late, he thought, gasping for a breath. After running for several minutes, he found her sprawled by the side of the tracks. Bahanji, aap theek hai? The word Bahanji is very important. Bahanji, aap theek hai? He asked. What is the meaning of Bahanji, aap theek hai in Hindi? What is the meaning of that the statement in English, which is mentioned in it? Sister, are you okay? Sister, are you okay? But there was no response. And no help in sight. They were alone somewhere between the two stations 5 kilometers apart in a Thane district which borders Mumbai. And now when he jumped from the moving train, nobody except Baleshwar Mishra and the Roma Talreja, nobody. Means other people were not there. They were alone. Baleshwar was so far away from Roma, he couldn't see her. Baleshwar Mishra couldn't see her. Why? Because his train was a moving train and his train went forward. And so that's why he couldn't see to that the Roma Talreja. And he thought himself, I hope I am not too late. He thought himself. And that is a gasping. Gasping means in Marathi that is a hussa satakne. Gasping for that is a breath. After running for several minutes, he returned. He was running back for several minutes. Why? Because she was there. Her state was an unconscious state. And now here he was running back, and after running for several minutes, he found her. After that, here he found her sprawled by the side of the tracks. Sprawled by, already given here, that is sprawled by means lie stretch. असं पाय अस्ताव्यस्त अवस्थेमध्ये ती या ट्रेनच्या किंवा त्या ट्रॅकच्या साईडला पडलेली आहे. In which state? That is unconscious state. She knocked senseless. Now she became senseless, and so here he found her, Baleshwar Mishra found her sprawled by the side of the tracks. When he reached towards to that the girl, and he said that, Bahanji, आप ठीक है? Bahanji, आप ठीक है? such the question is a very important. And the word Bahenji means he had a good quality. Bahenji, Bahenji, aap theek hai? What is the meaning of that the statement in English? Sister, are you okay? Sister, are you okay? But there was no response. But there was no response. Why? Because she became a senseless. Beshuddha avastheमध्ये. She became a senseless. She became a unconscious state, and so that's why there was no response from that the girl. And so here, and no help in sight also. Nobody means here. Both were there. Both were alone. Nobody yes, were there. Yes, and so here they were alone somewhere between two stations. Two stations that is 5 kilometers apart in Thane district. That is which is the borders to Mumbai, and where is that is Thane district borders to, that is which borders Mumbai. आणि मुंबईच्या साईडलाच असलेलं ठाणे या ठिकाणी. या ठिकाणी ही घडलेली इन्सिडेंट, and such an incident was happened on 10th December 2010 on Friday. On Friday, such the incident was a real incident. Baleshwar could see blood flowing out of a gus behind the young woman's head. Saying a silent prayer, he lifted the 5 foot to 50 kilos Roma gingerly and made his way across the tracks, looking out for a train and searching for a way out. He crossed through some shrubbery and followed the directions of the sounds until he found the road. My sister is injured. My sister is injured. He implored the motorist who drove by. Please help. Please help me take her to hospital. Please help me to take her to hospital. But no one stopped. Again, there was no any sign of help. There was no any sign of help. Now also. Baleshwar, there was no response. There was no response from the girl, and so that's why he observed carefully. And now here Baleshwar could see that is the blood, and such the blood was flowing out of the gas behind the young woman's head. Young woman's head means she was injured. She was wounded. Saying a silent prayer. Who was saying a silent prayer? Baleshwar Mishra. Baleshwar Mishra was saying a prayer. After saying that is a prayer, he lifted 5 foot 2. 5 foot 2 means 5 feet 2 inches. The size of that figure, height of that figure. Which is a figure? That is the Roma Talreja. The height of the, what is the height? The last one question on it. What was the height of Roma Talreja? 5 feet 2 inches. That is the weight also given. What was the weight of that the Roma Talreja? That is the 50 kilo. And then the year after saying such a prayer, silent prayer, he lifted to that the 5 feet means he lifted to that the Roma Talreja. 5 foot 2 inches, and that is a 50 kilo Roma, that is a Roma, gingerly, and made his way across the tracks, looking out for the trains and searching for a way out. And now here both were there on the tracks. Nobody were there. And she needed, that is a first aid treatment. But here, why? Because already we know that the blood was flowing from that is her head, and the problem was that she needed, that is the first aid, and so that's why he lifted to that the figure, he lifted to that Roma Talreja, and he was searching for a way out. And then the year he crossed through the some shrubbery, Shrubbery means that is a shrubs. झुडपं, झाडा, bushes. झुडपं म्हणतो, झाड झुडपामधून तो आता चाललेला आहे. He could not get that is a road. He could not get, and so that's why he crossed through some shrubbery and followed the direction of the sounds until he found the road. And now here he followed the direction of the sounds. आणि जिथं आवाज येतो त्या दिशेनं तो चाललेला आहे की जेणेकरून त्याला रोड सापडेल. आणि आपल्याला माहिती आहे रेल्वेचे ट्रॅक हे जंगलामधून किंवा झाडाझुडपामधून हे निघालेले असतात, काढलेले असतात. आणि हे दोघंही त्या ट्रॅक्सवरती आहेत, रेल्वे ट्रॅकवरती आहेत. And so for searching way out, he crossed through some shrubbery and followed the directions of the sounds until he found the road. He requested and now at last he reached to the road. He reached the road and he requested, pleaded, implored to the motorists were there on the road. He had no any motor, and already we know that. In his hand, she was there, and then he said, he requested, he implored, he pleaded again and again to the motorist, and he said, my sister is injured, help her to take a hospital. But here again, my sister is injured. He implored the motorist who drove by. Again he said that, please help me, take her to the hospital. Please, yes, help me to take her to a hospital. Why? Because she was injured and she needed that is first aid treatment. And so here, but the result was that there was no response from the motorist. It means that no one stopped. Motorists were not stopped. There was no response from the motorist. And here again there was the humanity. There is no humanity among the motorists also. Again here, when she had fallen or she was lying by the tracks, in the train also nobody volunteered to help her, to save her life. But the one person, that is Baleshwar Mishra, went there and helped her life. Again also, when he reached towards the road, he requested again and again to the motorist, but nobody stopped there. And so here, it means that there was no any sign of humanity. It means that there was no sign of humanity among the motorists also. So here, now concentrate on the next paragraph. That morning on December 10, 2010, a Friday, Roma Talreja arrived at a call center bright and early. The BCom graduate from Pune had been working there for 2 years, loving her job, talking and connecting to customers and making new prints there. After work, she went to the cafeteria, where she and her friends joked, laughed and made plans for the weekend. Then heading home alone after her shift, Roma was looking forward to having supper with her parents and brothers and look upon chat with her fiance Vijay. What is the meaning of fiance? That is a boyfriend of that is a Roma Talreja. That is a fiance. Who was the fiance of Roma Talreja? That is a Vijay. In this paragraph, our writer has given the introductions about Roma Talreja. Now we are going to discuss about the introductions of introductions about Roma Talreja. That morning, which morning? That morning means Friday was there. On a Friday, the date was that the December 10th, December 2010. It was a real incident. And on that day, Roma Talreja arrived at a call center bright and early. and she was working at the call center as an executive. She was working as a call center executive in that the institution. And so here the BCom graduate, she had completed her education, that is a BCom, Bachelor of Commerce, BCom graduation she had completed from the Pune. Had been working there for 2 years, loving her job. She was devoted her job, talking and connecting to customers, and already we know that the role of the executive at a call center to connect the people, talk to that people, making a new friends there. It was a role of the executive at the call center, and she was performing a role to talk with other customers, to talk with other people, to connect with other people, to make a new friends. And so here, after work at the call center, after work she went to the cafeteria. Cafeteria means that is cafe, or that is like a, in short we say that is a restaurant like that, cafe, yes, hotel like that. She went after work, she went to the cafeteria where she and her friend joke, and they were enjoying. After working her duty, her friends were enjoying. They were joking, they were laughing, and they were making such plans for the weekends. Yes, it is a part of the entertainment. Yes, they were doing like that. The heading home alone after her shift, and there are shifts. After completing her shift, after completing her duty, Roma was looking forward to having a supper with her parents and the brother. Yes, and her brother. And after completing her work, after completing her shift, she was looking for, Roma Talreja was looking forward to having supper. Supper means that is a dinner. S-U-P-P-E-R, not super, supper. S-U-P-P-E-R. Supper means that is a dinner or meal. M-E-A-L, meal, J1. Roma was looking forward to having supper with her parents and brother, and long phone chat with her, that is the fiance, and she was chatting with the fiance. She was talking with the fiance. She was enjoying with the fiance. She was laughing with the fiance. Her fiance name is Vijay. Fiance name is Vijay. And now here we concentrate on, that is the paragraph number 9. Baleshwar Mishra has a very different story. The lanky youngster from Mirzapur, UP is an unemployed high school dropout who had recently come to Mumbai. Living with his two older brothers, his job hunt had proved fruitless. Now he was trading water and had resigned himself to the fact that he was running out of options. He had spent his day with a friend, grabbed lunch and watched a movie. As a Baleshwar boarded the train home, he pondered his future, but all he could now think of was saving a stranger's life. He was saving a stranger's life. It's like last line is very important. Stranger's life. He was saving the stranger's life. Saving the stranger. Stranger means who here? That is a Roma Talreja's life. Stranger. Both were unknown to each other. Both were stranger to each other. So here. Now here in this paragraph, the writer Devan Kanal has given the introductions about that our another character. Character's name is that Baleshwar Mishra. Baleshwar Mishra has a very different story. Already we know that. The lanky youngster. And already they given here lanky means tall and thin. हडकुळा असा आणि उंच असलेला हा एक फिगर आहे. कुठलं? कोणतं? बालेश्वर मिश्रा. Baleshwar Mishra has a different story. Lanky youngster. He was a lanky youngster. Baleshwar Mishra was a lanky youngster. He was coming from that the Mirzapur. And where is the Mirzapur? In Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh. Baleshwar Mishra was unemployed. He was a high school dropout and who had recently come to Mumbai, and now he had recently such a Mumbai. He came to Mumbai. Living now, he was living in Mumbai. He was living with his two elder brothers. His elder brother. He was searching for the job. He was unemployed. He could not get any job, and so that's why he came to Mumbai. And before that, his brothers were there. Brothers were living, and now here he was. Baleshwar Mishra was living with his two elder brothers. He was living with his two elder brothers. He is a job hunt. He was a job hunt. He could not get any job. He was a job hunt. Baleshwar Mishra was a job hunt. Had proved fruitless. Now he was trading water. Now he was trading water and had resigned himself to the fact that he was running out of option. He was trading water. Trading water is a phrase. Trading water is a phrase which is mentioned in your glossary, that is making no progress. Trading water means that is making no progress. And now here he was trading water. He was trading water means he was no any making progress, means he could not get any job. He was not succeeded. He was not succeeded. Now here he was trading water and he resigned himself to the fact that he was running out of option. He had no any options. Why? Because nobody gave such a job, particular job to that or Baleshwar Mishra, and so that's why he became a fruitless. He became a fruitless. He was trading water, means he was not succeeded in searching such a job or getting a job here. He had spent his days. He had spent his days with the friends, and so that's why he had no any options, and so that's why he was enjoying with his friends. He was enjoying. He was laughing also with his friends. Grabbed a lunch to take a lunch and watch a movie. It is a part of entertainment. Why? Because he could not get any job, and so that's why he was enjoying. He passed his time. He passed his time with his friend while enjoying, while watching, while grabbing a lunch. Such is the part of the entertainment. As a Baleshwar boarded means that is to get into. The boarded the train home, and now here when he returned to his home, when Baleshwar got into the train home, he pondered his future. He thought about his future. It's very important. You also should think about your future. And like that, our Baleshwar Mishra also was thinking about his future. Why? Because he could not get any job. He was not succeeded in getting a job, and so that's why he pondered his future. But all he could now think of was saving a stranger's life. And now he thought again and again about that, how he saved her life, stranger's life. And so here means he thought about that the Roma Talreja. Why? Because he saved her life. Such means how he saved its life. Such the questions comes on that the section. So that's why you study about all the passages carefully, and so now we concentrate on the next questions answer. Check your understanding. Question number 1. Where did Baleshwar find Roma at last? Where did Baleshwar find Roma at last? Your answer is that Roma traveled by the side of the track or beside the tracks. She was lying beside the tracks, or that is the side of the tracks. Question number 2. Benji, aap theek hai? But there was no response. And no help in sight. Why was it so? Why? Because she knocked senseless. She became unconscious, so that's why there was no any response and no help in sight. And she mentioned here, read paragraph number 6 and answer. Paragraph number 6 and you will get its answer. Now we turn to the question number 3. Fill in the blank with the appropriate details. Appropriate means suitable. Suitable, yogya. Fill in the table. The following table is given here, and here fill in the table with the appropriate words or that is the details. Yes, already given here. I think 6 columns are given here, and now we are going to read the title of that. Each column you see: name, age, education, state they belong to, professions, reasons for boarding the train. Now the 2 characters are mentioned here. The first character is Roma Talreja and second character is Baleshwar Mishra. Now we are going to the first character, Roma Talreja. What was the age of Roma Talreja? 21. What is the education? What was the education of Roma Talreja? BCom from Pune or graduate from Pune. State they belong to, that is the Pune, maybe Pune or Maharashtra, like that, Pune. Or the profession, call center executive, and the reason boarding for the train while returning home from a shift. Returning home from her shift. It's an answer. Now we turn to the second character. Age, what was the age of Baleshwar Mishra? That is a 20, means she was a 1 year senior than our Baleshwar Mishra. Baleshwar Mishra's age was a 20 and Roma Talreja's age was a 21. What about the education? Yes, that is a high school dropout. His education was a high school dropout. State they belong, that is a Mirzapur. He was coming from Mirzapur, and where is the Mirzapur? That is a Uttar Pradesh, UP, Uttar Pradesh. Then the year, what about the profession? That is a means job hunt at the Mumbai. Job hunt at Mumbai means he could not get any job. Jobless. He became jobless like that. And reasons boarding the train, returning home. Returning home. Such a column is given here. Now here we will see the next part in the next period. Thank you very much.